thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Spartan Outdoors TV. Coming at you in the kitchen again with another wild game recipe. We got squirrel cacciatore, so stay tuned and try this out. Okay guys, so step one of making the squirrel cacciatore recipe is going to be getting the squirrel meat off the bone. Squirrels are pretty tough, so we're going to be using a pressure cooker today. You can use a slow cooker, you can just braise it in a pot, you know, whatever you have at home. And all we're going to do is just take this inner pot here, put our two squirrels in. For seasoning, we're just going to add in 2 cloves garlic, 2 bay leaves, salt and pepper, and then we're going to cover our squirrel about halfway with 16 ounces of chicken stock. Okay, we got our squirrels, we got our garlic, salt and pepper. Just going to add in our chicken broth. And like I said, I'm using a pressure cooker, so I'm only going to need about an hour. But if you're doing a slow cooker, I would say 3 to 4 hours would be plenty if you're using a high setting. And we're just going to let time do the cooking for us. Alright, stay tuned and we're going to get started on our tomato sauce. Okay, so we got our squirrel cooking away in the pressure cooker, and we're going to start with our sauce now while that's getting done. We've got half a white onion here, 5 cloves of garlic, 1 bell pepper, petite diced tomatoes, and then just some basic marinara sauce, any kind you want really. And this is really all you need to get it going. You know, 2 squirrels is not a ton of meat, so normally I would use like a whole onion or maybe a green bell pepper and, you know, a red one and a couple extras. But this is plenty for today, and we're going to get this all chopped up. Alright. Alright, let's get our cacciatore sauce going here. I'm just going to throw in our chopped onion, our chopped bell pepper, and we're just going to reserve our garlic as well as some julienne pieces of the bell pepper for later. So just save a few of those pieces, and we don't want to put the garlic in now just because it's going to burn. So onion, bell pepper, get that going on a medium heat. Just get those nice and softened up. You can season it now at this time. Salt and pepper, it's all you need. And yeah, let's give those 5 to 10 minutes and we'll go on to the next piece. Okay, we're about the 5-minute mark here. Our vegetables are softening nicely. I'm going to add in now those thinner strips, those julienne pieces of the bell pepper, as well as our 5 cloves of garlic. And all we want to do now is just cook down that garlic and those longer strips of pepper for about another 3 or 4 minutes until we add in our tomato product. Okay, we've had our garlic and our peppers in there now for a while. We're going to add in our tomato product now. You can use diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, just tomato sauce, whatever you like really. Today I'm using 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Going straight in with that. And then I'm also going to add about 6 to 8 ounces of this marinara sauce. Just literally picked it out of the cupboard. Doesn't really matter what kind it is. We just want some extra tomato base. Now, turn this down to a lower heat and just get that slowly incorporated. Okay, as our diced tomatoes and our tomato sauce are coming up to temp here, we've got a nice little simmer going, starting. I'm going to add in about 2 tablespoons oregano. I'm going to add in a couple of teaspoons of basil. And this is where you can add some heat into it. The cacciatore, you know, usually has a little bit of a kick to it. I'm adding some Cajun seasoning. You can also add red pepper flake. Both will give you the same outcome. I just think the Cajun goes really, really well with it. So I'm just going to give a nice dusting, about a tablespoon of that. And finally, we're going to add in some dry white wine. This is totally optional. If you don't want the wine, don't add it, but it's all going to cook out when this simmers. Just going to add about 3/4 of a cup of Chardonnay or any dry white wine you might have on hand. So yeah, just give this a nice stir, and we want to get it simmering. Alright, and here we go. Here's our sauce on a nice medium-low heat, just simmering away. We're going to simmer this about 20 minutes or so, just until it's that perfect, slightly thickened consistency. You want all that wine cooked out, and the sauce will really combine into a nice, silky smooth tomato base. Alright, our squirrels are done cooking here. Just pulled them out of the pressure cooker. And as you can see, it's just fall off the bone, tender. Simply want to transfer them to an area to cool. And then as they cool, we'll be able to handle them more easily and pull that meat off the bone. So just give them about 15-20 minutes, you know. So we're pulling the meat off the bone here of all the squirrels. This might be like the most tedious part of the entire recipe, but it's really important, you know. There's small bones everywhere, so just take your time. Take a few minutes and just pull it all off. Double check definitely for like bone fragments as well as shot. I just found one right here. There's a little piece of lead shot, so just be very careful with that. Feel around with your fingers for any shot or anything sharp. And yeah, we're just going to pull all the meat off these squirrels, and that's going to go into our red sauce. Okay, our cacciatore sauce here is really thickened up nicely. It's reduced. We've cooked all that alcohol off in the wine, and it's just super fragrant with all those herbs in it and the garlic. Now we're simply adding in our squirrel meat. As we know, it's already cooked and everything, so literally the last step here is just kind of to heat it back through in that hot tomato sauce. So you can keep it on a low heat and just kind of mix and incorporate. For maybe about 5 minutes, let all these flavors develop. Alright guys, that's the finished product. We've got our squirrel cacciatore sauce here. If you like chicken cacciatore, I promise you, you're going to like this. So definitely, you know, don't be afraid of it. Just got some spaghetti here with some olive oil and a little bit of oregano. And we're literally just going to spoon this over the top. Our squirrel cacciatore. You can put this over rice, over whatever you really want. But yeah, it's really delicious. It's got a lot of depth of flavor, and yeah, one more reason to get out there, enjoy the great outdoors, and do a little squirrel hunting. So thanks again for tuning in to Spartan Outdoors TV. Throw me a like, throw me a comment. You know, any support is great support for the channel, and it helps the channel grow. So if you enjoyed this one, just stay tuned for some future content. Thanks, guys.